Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Man the Great here, and I'm here today with, as you can tell by the title, a video that's gonna kinda test out some of these theories that I've seen, because recently I seen a video on First Take this morning, and the situation was where Stephen A. Smith was calling a lot of players better than Kawhi Leonard. And I saw in the comment section that there were also people talking about how Kawhi Leonard leading the Raptors to a championship wouldn't have happened with Anthony Davis or even Kevin Durant or certain things like that. Why you put Kevin Durant in here? Just due to the fact that they put him, that Stephen A. mentioned that he was better than Kawhi Leonard, which is true for the most part. But the thing is with that, for me it was a hot take for me to say that Kawhi Leonard was better than Kevin Durant for a while, but that was mostly because of my own dislike and hate for the Golden State move, which I didn't get over until the whole Golden State era was over, which included me rooting for the Raptors, to win the championship in 2019. And with that being said, this whole simulation is based off of that, and the first simulation I was pushing here was Kevin Durant being on the Toronto Raptors trying to win the championship. Now, in this simulation, I didn't include the Danny Green in this situation. And I had the mindset of maybe I should have got Danny Green, or I should try to get a trade for Danny Green, or a player that could fill the role of Danny Green in the season, which is why I'm trading for Torrey Craig in the first one with Kevin Durant, because he might be a good shooting guard to put next to him, even though that might not be the best idea. But we're going to skip ahead right here to the end of the season, or at least to where we see what's going down here. We're going to skip ahead after that, but I'll show you guys in a minute. Alright, we have reached the end of the season here, and as you can see, the Durant-led Raptors are alright. They're not really good, but they're not really bad. They're kind of around the middle of the pack, kind of like the Celtics last year. But you see Giannis is the MVP once again. Mike Budenholzer is the GM, is the coach of the year. But you see how all the stuff stacks up. You got James Harden, All-NBA second team, All-NBA third team, Kawhi Leonard. The thing about the rosters here is you have Russell Westbrook and Paul George back on the Thunder. And in this situation, I think you also still have the Anthony Davis Lakers thing, maybe? I don't know if I have that he's still there, but I think he is still there. But we got the Anthony Davis, but still on the Lakers. It's pretty much set up to certain ways to where there's not an overpowering team around the league or separating the situation. But we got it here where it's pretty solid. But we're showing you the playoff matchups real quick right here. Showing you no one's hurt. I switched the numbers for Kevin Durant and Kyle Lowry back to their normal numbers because I realized that Kevin Durant was number 7 and Kyle Lowry's supposed to be number 7 on the Raptors, because that's the number that will get retired for Kyle Lowry on the Raptors. So I felt it was right to put Kevin back on the 35. I had to make that switch in there. But as you can see, they beat the Raptors beat the Nets in the first round, swept them, and that was a good. But this was a D'Angelo, Kyrie Irving led Nets team. I didn't see Kyrie on the court in this version of the simulation, so I'm assuming he might have been injured, and they just had D'Angelo Russell running the point because he was pretty much scoring a lot of points, having the big numbers, which means Kyrie Irving had to be injured in this particular simulation. But now we enter this situation where we're playing the Bucks in the second round, and as you can see, Kevin Durant and the Raptors pretty much fit pretty well. It's pretty good numbers wise. But as you've seen with before, I necessarily say I don't know, the team chemistry for this team didn't rise as high as other iterations of this particular team. So it becomes the point where, oh, is this a problem here where we're looking at the Kevin Durant simulation? And we're going to kind of skip ahead here after showing you a little bit of the simulation to the end of the series. And you're going to show you the numbers. We're going to just walk through this here. But the difference here is with this Kevin Durant team, they took a 2-0 lead, much like Giannis did this year. And then it went backfired pretty badly. If you get a 3-0 lead, you pretty much lost the series, or if you're on the other side. But in this particular simulation, Kevin Durant took a 3-1 lead over the Bucks, and then they blew the lead and lost the series in the second round to the Bucks. Spoil it for you. But it's kind of salty about it. Wanted to see if that could happen, but it didn't happen that way. But you see the little close games and the 1-point victories here and there that could close out the series are really harming the Raptors here. Like, they started off with a good lead this game, up 10. Game gets close. I'm like, whoa. Now the Bucks took the lead. Gotta hop in here. So, with that being said, when I hop in, Giannis is at the line. And with Giannis being at the line, that means they're going to go up 2. And they pretty much here are going to go back and forth until the end of the game. I had to make sure I was on the right side of the ball. But it pretty much destroyed the entire game. He's wearing the Giannis freak ones, them shoes. It's pretty tight to see him in the game. But you see here that it was a tight game to the finish. And off the screen, Kevin Durant goes up with the layup, finishes nicely. Bucks pass it back in to Giannis. And here was the big mistake. They let Chris Middleton get a wide lane to the hoop and an easy layup, which is a critical mistake in a Game 7 in the semifinals, where this could be a potential finals match here. But I'd say it's kind of similar to what happened in real life with these two teams, or with the Bucks and the Raptors. Because necessarily, if Giannis doesn't perform to his potential like he didn't in round 3 this year, he could have just as easily went and won the championship himself, with everybody on the Warriors injured and just being able to run rough shot over Draymond Green in this case. And that's really the key of the game, necessarily. But you really could put that into air quotes or whatever you want to do. But if Giannis performs to Giannis level, I don't see how the Raptors win that series. Even if if the Raptors kind of choked it away to the the Bucks choked it away. If they didn't choke it away, they could have just as easily won the championship. It might have been even less of a competitive of a series, because Kawhi Leonard was great the first 3 rounds of the playoffs. But the thing here is, with Kawhi Leonard wasn't that great in the finals. He got his numbers. He got his 20 points a game. But in the NBA, with a lot of the stars, they're going to get about 10 fouls a game on them. They're going to get fouled 10 times and go to the line and shoot 10 free throws. And they're going to knock down like 7 of them, no matter who it is. and they'll have 20 points by the end of the game. So, in most cases, you'll have that happen, and they'll go and get 20 points, even in the finals. And in this case, you look better. But the thing is, they just happen to have a lot of luck on their side and happen to have a lot of experience their way. But the thing here is, the Raptors most likely don't win the championship even. There's a lot of ifs or hypotheticals that really could be put into the situation. In the situation of them winning the championship. But as you've seen, the Nets lost to the Raptors lost to the Bucks. And I called it Raps on the Kevin Durant experiment on the Raptors. So I went to Anthony Davis. And the thing here with Anthony Davis is, I'm showing you me switching Kyle Lowry's number to number 7 on the new team because I realized that in the middle of the Kevin Durant run. But you see, it's a lot of hypotheticals to that championship. And I appreciate them winning the championship because it was good that the East team finally won the championship. But it's a lot of hypotheticals around the Raptors run. If Kawhi's jumper just clanks off the rim, like it really was probably supposed to, because the way it bounced around, the 76ers could have went on to beat the Bucks and win the championship. Or the Bucks could have beat the 76ers and then went on to win the championship. The Warriors still get injured like they do. But the thing is, it's a lot of hypotheticals about this. If the Portland Trailblazers don't do whatever they do when they play Golden State, because they just cannot play with the Golden State Warriors. I don't know what it is, but the Trailblazers cannot hold a penny to their name. All of a sudden, Dame is getting clamped up. All of a sudden, CJ is getting clamped too. Draymond's looking like the MVP, hitting the game-winning shot, all this and that. Like, that's what happened pretty much, which cost them a run at the title. They could have won the title. They could have had a shot at beating the Raptors. I don't think they would have beat the Raptors, to be honest with you. I don't think they could have beat the Raptors. But it's possible. And that would have been a pretty dangerous matchup, but I think the Raptors had a lot more talent than those guys. And I think they could have beat them pretty good. Just because it's like, it's Enes Kanter versus Marc Gasol and Kawhi Leonard versus Rodney Hood. So it's pretty much like, Dame Lillard and them, they probably wouldn't have did too hot. But they probably could have got a couple games in the finals if they beat Golden State, which apparently is a really long shot. So we got just little things like that factored into the championship being won. But I think the major factors, we've seen what would have happened a little bit if Kevin Durant did play in the series. Because you've seen when he came out, that game he got hurt and tore his Achilles, or ruptured his Achilles, that he scored 12 in that one quarter. And they would have easily won the game if Kevin Durant remained healthy, probably. So we look at it that way, we would have been in the Warriors 3-peat era. But if you really want to, like, it's all sorts of hypotheticals behind every NBA championship, even. Like, I'd say everyone besides the 2017 NBA championship has hypotheticals around it all over. Like in 2011, what if LeBron doesn't choke? What if in 2012, James Harden is James Harden in the finals? What if in 2013, Ray Allen doesn't hit the shot? What if in 2014, the Miami Heat around LeBron lives up to its potential and how it played the season before, and they have a competitive series? All of those things come into man, and all of those things come into factor. And with this Anthony Davis simulation here, though, you see how all this comes together well. Like in 2015, what if the Cavaliers were healthy? 2016, what if the Warriors are healthy? And what if Draymond doesn't get in trouble or what if, actually, we don't have to talk about the final series. We could talk about what if the Thunder don't choke and just win the series and they play the Cavs. What happens? In 2017, you can't say anything. In 2018, what if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt at the Rockets' peak, and he was running roughshod over the Warriors for a lot of that period, and who knows if they don't win Game 6 or Game 7. But with Chris Paul passing the ball, I don't see 27 threes being missed. So all of those come into play with this winning championships in the league. But as you see with this Anthony Davis series, the Raptors are pretty good. They have pretty good chemistry for all the simulations I did, and he's pretty much running roughshod. They ran roughshod over the league in this simulation. Giannis got injured through most of the season, so the Bucks ended up missing the playoffs here. But you see, the Raptors and Anthony Davis did better than Kevin Durant and the Raptors, which is very interesting to me. And I did also 2 additional tests after this particular event and tried to see whether or not I could get, if I could put Kawhi on this same team as I did Anthony Davis and KD, and would he win? And in that situation, the Kawhi Raptors had went to the finals but lost to the Lakers. But I'd like to think now, in this year's 2K, I'd say this year's 2K is pretty high on Kawhi Leonard. Him being the only 97 next to LeBron James, having an equal rating as him. 2K has been kind of trying to phase LeBron out as the highest player for a little bit now. But as you can see here, Anthony Davis really played as Anthony Davis. They did better than the KD Raptors, because the KD Raptors won like 48 games, whereas the Anthony Davis Raptors won 60. So I don't know if you could use this definitively to say that one is better than the other, but these teams don't have a big key point of those Raptors teams, which was Danny Green. And if I were to add Danny Green in these simulations, would they do any better? Who knows? I'd have to do them. But I'm making this video now just to say that the Raptors run was a lucky run. If you give the same circumstance to all of every series that happened with the Raptors and put those other guys on the team, they probably could win a championship. Especially Kevin Durant probably could have ran roughshod and won the title last year, because you don't have to play LeBron, and then Golden State ran roughshod over getting hurt and pretty much were injured the entire finish of the season. But the thing is, the sheer size of the Raptors team with a Kevin Durant or a Anthony Davis they would be a even bigger team with more physical freaks. Because like Kawhi Leonard, he's not seen as a physical freak, but he's a pretty big. His hands are massive. His arms are super duper long. He's a physical freak. And Kevin Durant is a physical freak at being a 6'11" all NBA shooter, all-time high caliber shooter. And then you have Anthony Davis, who has some of the longest arms in the league, period. He's almost 7 foot tall, and he's good at everything on the court. There's not anything that Anthony Davis is not good to great at on the court. And that's the thing. To be one of the best in the world, you have to be good or great at every single thing to be the best player in the world. That's what you need. Kevin Durant in his career has never been a great defender, and that's why he has never been the best basketball player in the world. Playing on the most stacked team of all time does not make you the best player in the world. Kawhi Leonard winning that finals and beating a depleted Golden State team. He didn't beat the real Golden State. They probably wouldn't even got a game off the real Golden State. they beat a depleted team. Klay Thompson was hurt in and out really the whole season, the whole series. So you didn't really beat the Warriors. You didn't play the same Warriors that the Trailblazers played. The Trailblazers played a full Warriors team the whole series. And that was without KD and DeMarcus. And DeMarcus Cousins was a liability. But the thing is, you see, with this series here is the Raptors and Nets wasn't a good match for these Raptors here, who won 60 games. And the Nets proceeded to take this home here. And Anthony Davis loses in the conference finals to the player who the first subject was about, in Kevin Durant. So the Durant and Kyrie Nets defeat the Anthony Davis Raptors. I might have to do a different simulation with the Kawhi, or not the Kawhi, but with both of these players, with Danny Green on the team. But I didn't necessarily do it this time to see what that can happen. But I ran the same simulation over on a different team to see if the user-controlled team had any difference. It did make a difference. And I also did it with Kawhi Leonard on the Raptors team with a different user-controlled team. And the Raptors went to the finals and lost, like I said earlier. But you see how it worked out. The Raptors did not win the championship. I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.